Hello and welcome to another Tarot Chat with Jay. Curiouser and curiouser, said everyone who responded to Candy Soul and Soil. Candy set up this amazing hashtag. We're doing hashtag top 10 curiosity decks. If I had a curiosity cabinet, what curious decks would I have in it? Curiosity to me means weird, wild, strange, thinking outside the Rider-Waite-Smith box, or it ain't your grandma's tarot, kids. So that's sort of what we're working with today, haunting and haunted. So I'm starting with, I'm going in numerical order. Strange for me, I'm usually sort of non-linear. But I'm starting with number 10 and I'm working all the way up to my number 1 weirdest, wildest deck, which I'm so excited to be sharing with you today. Number 10, we start with the Aquarian Tarot. And this is 1970 and it's Morgan Press. The thing that I think is so odd about this is the colorway. It's definitely not yellow and blue like Rider-Waite. It's got these pinks and purples and super 70s colors, and some of the cards have like really faded watercolor backgrounds. Here we see the wands depicted. That purple really lets me see her autonomy and the strength of the sunflower. And her height, and here I see those same like purple and funky orange peachy colors that we're looking at today, and his orb of pink behind hand, and he's the Two of Wands. So instead of holding a globe in purple and green, he's holding this just, I don't know, lovely glowing pink blush on the edge of that horizon. Here we see some of those clouds and watercolors that we're looking at, topped with pink and red. When does that happen? Except in the ballet, you know. And here we see those strange, like, pinks and oranges and greens. And what the hell is this? It's a goose. What? That's weird. The goose goes in the curiosity cabinet. Thank you. Five of Swords with this gorgeous watercolor behind it. The pinks and the purples swirling together and really showing that confusion, that win and loss that goes on so much in our Five of Swords. And in the Nine of Swords, it's all of that cloud and confusion, and then this sort of like almost deco, curvature and metal, I don't know, marching military imagery that's coming out of this card. It may. So yeah, that's our Aquarian Tarot, number 10. Number 9 is Arthur Rackham Tarot. This is a Lo Scarabeo, and first we start with some of the majors definitely depict, because Rackham was doing illustrations of pre-existing works, some of the illustrations I think are very interesting the way they're linked to other works. For example, here we have the World card. It's Daphne spinning into a laurel to escape the meandering eye of Apollo on the riverbank. Here we see for the Page of Cups, it's Taliesin from the Magbignone speaking with the salmon of wisdom underneath the hazelnut trees. It's such an interesting take on that card. Here we have literally the devil dancing with the devil, paying the devil its due, spinning in a waltz on point with the devil. That's just, I don't know, it's such a different way of looking at those cards, I think. This one absolutely knocks me out. It's the Wheel. And here's the wheel, the edge of the well, among the circle of brambles and briars. And who are you, my dear? The woman on shore, lifting your skirts against the damp, or the witches bobbing in the water. It's, I think it's such a fascinating way, and such a strange way of looking at that card. I also really like this. Here we have the Ten of Pentacles, and it talks so much about legacy. It's about the fairies and the legacy and the work that survives and the new voices joining the chorus. So yes, it's weird and wild and wonderful. The Five of Wands is a girl up a tree surrounded by wolves. So this is pack mentality, and not just that uncontrolled craziness, but really needing to flee from it as well. So there we have Rackham. Number 8, we come up to U.S. Tarot. This crap ass box purportedly by Alina Lee McCroon, but that's actually an alias because she didn't want to get firebombed. This came out as a political deck in 2020. So really nice backing cards, and I love the figures that are in it. We have the Three of Pentacles depicting Ansel Adams, so very much that talks about, you know, working together and being in a studio and producing some gorgeous work. We have Jimmy Carter as Six of Pentacles in Habitat for Humanity, just doling out the goods and redistributing the wealth and being that absolutely equitable voice in this universe, and such a lesson teacher. We see the coins in the tree, the oak outside the house he built. So here is Neil Armstrong on the moon as the Eight of Wands, and we see the relation of, we're not even standing on our own planet. This is such a beautiful card, and I think there's a lovely depiction and creation story that connects us to the Hanged One, where we're really opening up our possibilities here and stepping right out of the box, out of the tin can, onto an entirely different chunk of rock spinning around our sun. I like the Chariot here, black and white horses, someone heading west. It's Nancy Reagan. Queen of Pentacles with her lapdog, Just Say No, roses, the rabbit, just a scary and interesting depiction. She was very much just more in astrology, but she wore red for a reason. She ran the cards for a reason. She ran the dates for a reason. She ruled the roost for a reason. So here she is, Queen of Pentacles, for a reason. We move on to number 7, Herb Crafters, and it is Joanne Powell Colbert, thank you. And this takes it in a totally different way, by using herbs to depict not only the majors but also the minors as well. Here we have the Four of Water as mint, and I'm hoping you can see in this depiction, it's a lovely afternoon, there's banks of flowers, we're in a shady spot under a tree with fresh spring water filled with mint, fresh mint from the garden, and there are 4 glasses. 3 are filled with mint and water, 1 stands empty. So I think it's just, it's another way of looking at that Four of Cups. Sometimes Four of Cups is seen as like being stuck or self-absorbed, ruthful, willful, but I really think it talks to us about, like, take a moment, friend, that empty cup's okay. That empty cup's okay. It could be 3 out of 4, it's okay. As I've said in other videos, give it a minute. Give it a minute. Necesito a minito. Close to nearly Spanish, I can speak. Here we have the Tower as mushrooms. A chunk of birch fallen in the forest in the leaf litter sprouting a new crop. And it's just brilliant to find this image, to photo this image, to bring this image to us as the Tower, to be able to move on from loss and have loss part of cycle. Cool. The Hermit, I love this. This is just a mandala wreath that is a collection of items that the author and artist has found while taking time on their personal walk out, taking their hermit time, taking the gifts that appear, transmuting that knowledge through you, and leaving it for others with a light in the middle to shine and a feather to lead the way. Gorgeous. That is our Herb Crafter's Tarot. I'd like to move on to number 6. I refer to it as the Egyptian Tarot, but it's actually apparently called the Tarot of Transition. It's put out by Carta Mundi in 1983, and it's got this gorgeous gloss and gleam. This is the back of the cards with this absolutely beautiful scarab. The majors are depicted as images, and the minors are pips. So we have Hathor standing here between the lovers, which is just very sweet and very interesting. A male and a female figure, this real strong depiction, and she is fertility and motherhood and love and that sweetness of coming to the kind cow that we see in Egypt. Here we have Anubis as judgment, and absolutely perfect. Anubis is king of the dead, holding the scales that judge your feather against a heart. Are you worthy? That's just pure brilliance, in my opinion. So here's Isis as Empress, and she sits on a plinth with water lilies and blue lotus and papyrus carved beneath her, signifying book and wisdom and mystery. It's Aten as the sun reaching down. Here's the sun disk and the rays ending in the Aten hand, like are on the back of his Aten throne, which is carved cypress wood panels that are enameled and gold covered, and just absolutely exquisite. Oh, it's great. And that's Aten and his queen, Nefertiti, right there. Boom, recognize him. Hey, howdy, how you doing? Oh, it's Newt as the star. She stretches up and becomes the Milky Way. She curves over our world and becomes the night. I freaking love this. This dark, gorgeous, stretched out figure with all the little stars depicted along her. And here we have Amit as the devil. This is that really strange crocodile composite creature who, if you are not judged worthy by our friends, by our friend Anubis, you'll pay the price and get eaten. Yes, indeed. So then we have Dead Ankh's Khafra and Hesed as rods, ankhs for swords, our coins and cups as well. So I am going to go on and look at, thank you, number 5, Antalya Castelli. I'm keeping the majors. I've been fighting with this deck for, since I got it, mostly. But it remains beautiful and absolutely strange. Here we have the hermit depicted with songbirds behind and a robe and pale green. Here we have an exquisite death card. This is the reason I can't shed this deck. She leans on a cane. She unmasks. Her dress has death's heads batiqued into it. She's blue with faded roses in her hair. Here's the fool being bitten on the ankle by an asp, with his hands behind him in a jester's costume with bells on his cap. Here is our Ace of Swords, and it's a hooded figure in the night depicting wind, and I can't even explain these. I can't explain why I like them. I can't explain why I can't pass them on. I can't explain why this hanged one gives me such an Odin, a sacrificial vibe, all spikes and portals and doors and wrapped feet and hanging ropes. There's so much, I don't know. It's a weird deck and I really like it. And it would go in my cabinet of curiosities. In fact, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the out of season, out of reach, out of weird. I think this one might be my little cabinet in the shadow in the back. Moving on to number 4, it's Serpent Fire. And I believe it's Delvey Wolf for Serpent Fire. And this just entirely changes things. Completely new imagery when I thought about doing this tag, and I said, do I have any outstandingly weird decks? I said, you have a deck that depicts the Fool as a horse that's actually a unicorn jumping off a waterfall that's actually a square of water sideways or upside down or the other way. It doesn't get much weirder than this. Oh, incidentally, did I mention they're also hunking off through a rainbow? Through a rainbow? The Ace of Pentacles is the swirling cosmos with Chichen Itza as its center. And I've personally walked up those steps, and let me tell you, that is a liminal space. That alone, the memory of that experience, the memory that links to this card, belongs in my precious cabinet of curiosities as well. The Queen of Wands stands on clouds above thunder and draws down lightning. And death is a stairway through an arch to the Milky Way, to the universe, to the waiting black hole that changes our polarity and changes our perspective. Changes our perspective. Thank you. We now move on to number 3, and it is the Grand Tarot Bellini. This is 1966, printed in Paris. This is the devil as Baphomet. Chained figures with little rabbit ears and the strangest colorway with pale green. Are those scales? What exactly is this Baphomet wearing? And above it says La Fatalité, which I think is the fatalness of everything. And he's called Typhon. So it's just entirely odd. The tower is the Tour de Capite, which is the tower with its head taken off. So you really see that lightning coming down and taking off the crown, knocking that crown to the ground. Here we see death as a skeleton with this odd little bat flying behind. And I don't have any Thoth cards, so I know this is a Thoth image, but for me this is absolute standalone. The death so rarely looks like that in my deck that it absolutely earns a place in the cabinet. The Hanged One with these strange birds. And the Tower with the Sphinx. The Sphinx. So, now my friends, we have a quick foray into number 2 before we hit my very last one. This is strangely one that I made myself. It's Courier and Thorpe and Ives, and I'm surprised it works. Here we have Danger, and it's hunters in a field, in a boat. Here we have wheat fields with people in a path, and a wheat field, and a strange duality. Here we have ice, a path and ice, and something frozen beyond. There's a set of options that could happen here. Here we have a church by moonlight, and on the Hudson, actually on the Hudson, is ice boats in a liminal space on frozen ice traveling on water. So that goes in my cabinet. And lastly, my friends, the number one weirdest piece of tarot I have, it's called The Seed. It's a book. It's from 1973, from Harmony Books of Crown Publishing. And the people who put it out seem to be from San Cristobal, New Mexico. Wow, yeah. So they talk about peace and harmony, and they talk about alchemy, and they have strange little quotes, and it's all printed really tight in this newsprint, and in the back is I Ching, but in the middle are cards. They're cardboard perforated cards, and they have images and people and geometrics and faces and things that are relevant in the 73, Superman and social items, and then these mandalas and labyrinths and sacred geometry. Here's a page that's come out so I can show you. Here's one, it's like circles in squares, and then on the other side it would be the lovers, these two people kissing. Here it is a very wise man, possibly a Hierophant, and oh, good Lord, I know exactly what this is. This is the butterfly temple from the Aztecs. You know how I told you I was in Chichen Itza? Well, this is down there too in Belize. It's sacred sites of worship and bloodletting and sacrifice. It's mandalas of lotus and swirls and alchemy and wow, just holy Christmas. So yeah, that's entirely weird. It is. It's the strangest thing I have, and I'm so entirely pleased to be able to show it to you today, friends. So what's in your cabinet of curiosities? Thank you, Candy. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much, everyone. It's been a wonderful witching day. It's been very odd.